Hello, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to Current Affairs of 12th January 2024. So we will discuss what are all the issues that were there in news for today. First news that was there in news, very important, Swachh Survekshan Awards 2023. So it was recently given by Ministry of Urban Housing and Urban Affairs. There was a lot of rankings and all which are very important for our exams. Then China-Taiwan relations. So there are elections which are going to happen in Taiwan and there was some statement from China. So we'll see what is the background of China-Taiwan relations and how they are managing currently. Next one is Mumbai Trans Harbour Link. So India's largest sea bridge that was recently completed the construction and it is going to be inaugurated soon in the coming 1 or 2 days. Next, classical language status. So we'll see what is actually the classical language and why it is there in news. GM mustard, genetically modified mustard. So there was some ruling from the Supreme Court. Observation from Supreme Court. We'll see what is that. Also, there is an earthquake in Afghanistan yesterday and it also affected the certain parts of India including the Delhi. Then X-ray polarimeter satellite XPOSat that was recently launched by ISRO. Then global risks report released by World Economic Forum. We'll see what are the risks it has observed. Then conjoined silver line, a new butterfly that was discovered. So these are the 9 news that we are going to discuss for 12th January 2024. So first one, Swachh Survekshan Awards. So yesterday our Honorable President has launched these awards. So the context is the same, that the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, conferred Swachh Survekshan Awards 2023 yesterday at Bharat Mandapa, New Delhi. So it was recently constructed for conferences and all. It was hosted by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So that is the context. They have recently launched. So before going into the awards, so who has won that and all those things, we have to know what is actually Swachh Survekshan Awards. This is a survey, collecting data from various cities. It is an annual survey regarding cleanliness, hygiene, sanitation in the cities and towns across India. So there are also some other awards, Swachh Survekshan Gramin Awards, right? That is for rural areas, but these are specifically for urban areas, which was released yesterday. So this is the annual survey to collect the data related to the cleanliness across urban areas. The primary goal, why they are collecting this data, it's like a school exam. If you are given first rank and you are ranked with the 10, you are always motivated to do some get better rank. The same way it aims to encourage the large scale citizen participation. So to compete between the cities, between the states, so it is increasing the competition and thus indirectly they are involving citizens and creating awareness among all the sections of the society. So that is the objective. So that what is the end goal? Why we are doing this? The end goal is this. They want to promote the cleanliness across India, right? So that is the objective and it was launched as part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was launched way back in 2014 or 15 with the aim to bring open defecation. That means nobody should defecate openly across the urban area. It should be defecated only in the closed bathrooms and all, right? So the aim was to bring the open defecation, completely eradicate this open defecation by end of October 2nd, 2019. So that was the objective of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, but that is not the context actually. You just need to remember that this survey is part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So that was the fact. Then the first survey was undertaken in 2016. So you can see our Honorable former Vice President Venkaiah Naidu ji was launching that. So it was launched way back in 2016. That is important for our exam. So the year is important. And who is conducting this survey? So someone has to take responsible, right? For every work we need to have certain body to responsibly conduct those things. So here Ministry of Housing along with the support of Quality Council of India. So Quality Council of India is a it is a congregation of different expert side and all. So it is taking help from Quality Council of India and it is implementing partner of the Ministry of Housing. So that was the responsible body. That is also important. Swachh Survekshan has evolved into a world's largest annual survey. So if you see, there are many questions these days based on the statement based. Even for small exams like SSCGL, you can see some statement based questions. So this is an important fact that this is the world's largest annual survey currently. The Swachh Survekshan, which began modest evaluation of 73 major cities. So in 2016, they have collected data only for 73 major cities, but now it is covering 4,477 cities. This is also important. In 2023, how many cities has been covered, they may ask, right? So this is the 2020, background of Swachh Survekshan survey and the current status. Now, how they will evaluate this? So what parameters they are taking? So how you can judge a city is more clean and how you can judge other cities as less cleaner? It is based on 40% weightage given to waste collection, sweeping and transportation in the urban areas. So they are giving weightage to this, how you are collecting, how you are sweeping and how you are transporting from one place to other place. That is the major composition, 40%, followed by MSW, Municipal Solid Waste Management Process and Disposal. So how you are processing the waste? Are you dumping in a landfill, or you are doing it some processing and utilizing it in a better way? So that is given with 30%. And then toilets, how the toilets are penetrated, and ODF, open defecation free. So this is the third weightage, and rest of the things, information, education, capacity building. So those are the other weightage. The major weightage is given to waste collection, sweeping and transportation. So this is also important. Then coming back to this year's Swachh Survekshan Awards 2023. So here, before knowing the rankings, we have to know the theme also. That is also important for our exam. The theme is waste to wealth. So how we can generate wealth from waste. So you can recycle it and you can use it in some other purpose. So that is the theme. And for 2024, this year, the coming year, the survey which is going to conduct, reduce, reuse and recycle. So you have to remember two themes, the 2023 as well as 2024. One is waste to wealth, then other one is reduce, reuse and recycle. Now coming back to the rankings, which is more important, Indore has been adjudicated as cleanest city 7th time in a row. So since its launch, Indore has been ranking first consistently over the years. So very important to remember. Now if you see the ranking board here, first this year we got two cities, Surat in Gujarat as well as Indore in Madhya Pradesh. So this is an addition to last 6 years, that along with Indore, Surat has also been ranked number 1. And there is no second rank because already a city has occupied the first position. Third is Navi Mumbai, which is located in the coast of Maharashtra. Then fourth is Greater Visakhapatnam. You have to remember at least top three, but I am just giving you data of top 5. You need to remember just top 3, that will be sufficient. Fifth has been declared by Bhopal, again in Madhya Pradesh. States, if you consider the overall states, it is actually the cities. If you consider overall states which are more cleaner, first one is Maharashtra, second is Madhya Pradesh, third is Chhattisgarh, fourth Odisha and fifth Telangana. So remember top 3, that will be sufficient. So these are the state rankings. We'll see some more data or some more rankings in the category of cities with population less than 1 lakh. See, these are the cities ranked with 1 lakh or more. Now, if rankings, if we consider related to the smaller cities, so less than 1 lakh. Now we'll see the data. So here, Saswad and Lonavala in Maharashtra are 1 and 2. So this was given 1 and Lonavala is given 2. And then Patan, a place in Chhattisgarh, has secured the 3rd rank. So these are the top 3 if we consider cities which are having population less than 1 lakh. This is also important data. You just need to remember at least top 2. Saswad and Lonavala in Maharashtra, right? Now, few more awards were given under Swachh Survekshan Awards 2023. More Cantonment Board. So, Cantonment Board means it was created for defense purpose. In various places we have cantonment boards to support the defense personals and all, right? So, those are called as cantonment boards. And here, more Cantonment Board in Madhya Pradesh was the cleanest cantonment board. I mean, approximately around 60 to 65 cantonment boards are there across India. So among that, this Mo cantonment board ranks 1. Now, if we consider the ranking along the Ganga river, so wherever the Ganga river flows, there will be some cities across the Ganga river. So if we consider the rankings, they have given specifically for Ganga towns also. That means those towns residing around the Ganga. So the first rank is Varanasi and second rank is Prayagraj, which was earlier called as Allahabad. So these are the two rankings which were given for Ganga towns. Then one more award. See, these many awards, of course, we have to remember. So that's how the competitive exams work. They can create questions from anywhere. So we have collected all these things together and we are discussing it, right? So Chandigarh won the award for safest city for sanitation workers. See, sanitation workers actually face a lot of discrimination, right? So not only discrimination in terms of health, in terms of financial status. So all these things they face. So here Chandigarh, it is our responsible to make them more safer, right? So Chandigarh won the award for the best safest city in sanitation for the sanitation workers. States at the end of the list. So we need to know the bottom last three as well. So here the bottom one is Rajasthan and then Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the three states at the bottom. So least is Rajasthan, just above is Mizoram, and second last is Arunachal Pradesh. So these are all facts which are very important for competitive exams. See, this is again one more ranking given by the Ministry of Urban Affairs. These are zonal clean city awards. So we have different zones: North Zone, East Zone, right? So Northeast Zone, South Zone and West Zone. So here I won't discuss everything, that is not very much important. But if you are writing any state specific, if you are writing any, for example, if you are writing an exam from Telangana, so it is under the South Zone, so you have to know the South Zone. If you are writing exam from North Zone, one of the cities in the North Zone, for example, Uttar Pradesh, so you need to know about the North Zone. If you are a person from Northeast and you are writing some state PSC of Manipur or some other Northeast, you need to know about the Northeast. So you can see here the rankings Northeast as well as Northeast, and then West and South. So there are different categories and you have to learn your own state specific details as well, right? So this is about the Swachh Survekshan awards. Now let's get back to the, let's go to the next article, that is China and Taiwan relations. So China and Taiwan relations, you can observe the territory, so you will get an idea. So this is whole, a big one is China and this is Taiwan, located in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so these are the two countries. Actually, we'll see whether you consider them as a two separate countries or a single country. It is up to you after listening to this article. Okay, so let's discuss the context first. The context is that there is going to happen a presidential elections in the coming week in Taiwan. So China has warned Taiwan's voters on to make the correct choice. So they are saying what choice has to be taken. So they themselves has considered something is correct and something is wrong, right? So that is the context. They have warned the Taiwan people to choose the better person. We'll have to see who is the better person, right? So the history, let's go to the history of China and Taiwan first, and then we'll see a few more details, right? So you can see there are two names, two passports differently. One is Republic of China, that is Taiwan. This is Taiwan, and People's Republic of China. This is China. So in both the names we have China common, so don't confuse. Republic of China is another name for Taiwan, and People's Republic of China is another name of the main territory of China, right? So keep these two things in mind. Let's go to the history a little bit. After World War II, so Japan was defeated by the Allied forces like USA, UK, France and Russia. So Japan was defeated and Japan was actually occupying Taiwan. So before World War II, the Taiwan was part of Japan, they have occupied it, and after losing, they have given back it to China. Okay, so this is the first case. Now Taiwan went back to China. Now, afterwards, after Taiwan became part of China, then what happens? Taiwan was officially considered occupied by the Republic of China. So they have, recognized, most of the countries recognized that Republic of China has occupied the Taiwan as well. So here observe who is the genuine government. Republic of China. When the World War II was completed, so most of the countries recognized as Republic of China, not People's Republic of China. Then what happened after recognition? There was a civil war. What is civil war? Civil war means between the people within the country. If it is a between two countries, then it is a military war. If it is a civil war, that means within the people in the country, they are fighting each other. So here civil war broke out between the two groups in Chinese main territory. So here the two groups are Kuomintang. So it is a one party, like political party, how you have two different political parties in India. The same way, there is a two political parties. One is Kuomintang, which was headed by Chiang Kai-shek. This government is being headed by, so this political party is headed by Chiang Kai-shek, and other one is Mao Zedong for Communist Party of China. So there was another party, Kuomintang and Communist Party of China. It was led by Mao Zedong. So you know the popular personality Mao, Maoism, the Naxalism, all these things came from this person, right? It was headed by the Communist Party. So there are two parties, Kuomintang and other one is Communist Party. Here what has happened? Among the two parties, Chiang established a dictatorship. Before this particular line, so there was a civil war between two groups, Kuomintang and Communist Party. They fought each other, and Communists defeated KMT. That means Kuomintang. So Kuomintang party was defeated by communists. They were strong. The military was strong under the Mao leadership. So they defeated Kuomintang. So what has happened? The Chiang Kai-shek, he escaped from the mainland China. So earlier what is happening? Here Republic of China means all together Taiwan and China was called as Republic of China by the other countries, the allies. Now this Chiang Kai-shek, after being defeated in the hands of Mao Zedong, he escaped to Taiwan. So from mainland, he along with his group shifted to Taiwan, the island, right? So that was happened until 1980s. He himself followed the dictatorship and ruled the country. From 1949, the civil war was in 1949, and so the ruling has been till 1980s. So this Taiwan under the Chiang Kai-shek ruled until 1980s. After that, following the death, Taiwan became the transition to democracy. So what is democracy? Elected by the people. So until that time, he was the only leader, no other political parties. But from 1980s, once he died, so there was a democratic elections in the Taiwan, like how India is conducting. Taiwan became the democracy, and most of the countries also like it to tilted towards the Taiwan. So that was the history. Okay. Now present condition. What is the present condition? The present condition is that actually after his death, Chiang Kai-shek, and the formation of democratic government, China and Taiwan became somewhat friendly. So they have exchanged the friendly relations, trade and all they have started. So that was fine until 1990, end of 1990s. Then in 2000, there was one party which was one that is called as Democratic Progressive Party. This is against the Chinese activities. China has said that it is one nation, two administration like policies they have proposed for the Taiwan to mingle with itself. But this party has opposed the Chinese activities, and the China got alarmed. The mainland China got alarmed. So they don't want to support this, and they want to take back the Taiwan. And this Taiwan is being supported by major countries like NATO affiliated countries like USA, France, Britain. So they all want Taiwan to remain alone, because see, this is a democratic country, and most of the countries, Western countries, they support democracy to sustain, not the communist or the communism, right? So the present condition is that Taiwan and China was actually ruled by two different governments, but most of the countries, including USA and India, consider Taiwan as part of China, right? So most of the countries recognize Taiwan as part of China, and because China is one of the big powers now in the current situation, so it has some history, you no need to worry, but just understand that most of the country including India recognize Taiwan as part of China. So that is the present condition, and China recent statement said that even the chancellor or the main head of China, president of China, they said that we will take Taiwan someday, right? So that was the clash going on between the two countries. Taiwan was supported by some Western allies as well, like USA. So that is the present condition between Taiwan and China, right? Now, very important, third article, right? So this is going to be inaugurated today itself, Mumbai Trans Harbour Link. So Mumbai Trans Harbour you can see, trans means connection between two things. So the context is this, Mumbai Trans Harbour Link inauguration today. So today is inauguration of Mumbai Trans Harbour Link. You can observe here there are two connection points, right? So here there is a sea. Here there is a sea. So earlier the people who are traveling to these places, they are going by this way, so which takes lot of time, more than 1 hour. Now if we are going to construct these bridges, it will be around 15 to 20 minutes. So that's why they have started this. The plan was much like 60 years before that, but it was conceptualized and getting completed recently. Now it is ready for inauguration, right? So this is the two areas. We will see more factual things about it. About Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, it is officially called as Atal Setu Nava Sheva Sea Link. So our former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee name was given to this bridge, officially called as Atal Setu Nava Sheva Sea Link. It is the country's longest bridge over the sea. So till now we don't have this much longer bridges on the sea. It is not like overall bridges. It is on the sea. This is the longest bridge. And this harbour link is 22 kilometer long. See, these are all facts are very important in statement based questions or even direct facts they are asking. So the total length is 22 kilometers long with a twin carriage. That means two sides. So one way roads are there while going, while coming. So there are separate with 6-lane bridges over the Thane Creek in the Arabian Sea. See, this is also very important. Where the bridge is being constructed, that is on the Thane Creek in the Arabian Sea near the Mumbai. It connects Sevari. This is also important. Sevari in the island city of Mumbai. So mainland Mumbai here. So here and here. So this was the mainland, and Navi Mumbai is here. Navi Mumbai. See, you can see. So this is all Navi Mumbai and this is the mainland. So don't confuse. You may think that this is the coastal strip and this is inside. So all the seawater has been coming this side because there is no land here. So no need to worry about it. Here Navi Mumbai and there is Mumbai, mainland Mumbai. So from mainland Mumbai, the Sevari, which is in mainland Mumbai, will be connecting to Chirle in Raigad district in Navi Mumbai, right? So here you can erase this. Here you can just remember that there are two things. One is Sevari, the mainland Mumbai, and the other one is Navi Mumbai, that is Chirle. So these two places are being connected through this bridge. It includes 16 out of 22 kilometers. The total length is 22 kilometers. Out of that, 16.5 kilometers will be connected in the sea itself, in the water, and rest of the 5.5 kilometers will be connected in the lands through ducts. Ducts means it's like a pipe. So the vehicles has to go through the piping line, big pipes. So the diameter is much higher. So this is major part is in the sea and some part is in land. So these are all the facts related to Mumbai Trans Harbour Link project or bridge. Now, outcomes of the bridge. What will be the outcomes once this bridge is launched? There are certain outcomes. It will bring down average travel time between Sevari and Chirle from 61 minutes to less than 16 minutes. So within 15 minutes, you can reach the different districts. So that is a huge benefit. The project is expected to facilitate greater economic integration of Navi Mumbai with the mainland Mumbai, including Pune, Goa, because see, Mumbai is one of the biggest business oriented areas. There is a lot of companies, there's a lot of manufacturing. So if you are reducing time, that is a beneficial to economy. So that is the second advantage. Then third advantage is that it provide improved access to JNPT port. So Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust port is there in Mumbai. So it will also give more faster access to JNPT port. So these are all the benefits. There are some criticism as well from the public or from the experts. First one is that they are collecting 250 rupees as toll for one way. That means if you are going and coming in the whole day, for single day if you are traveling twice, that means you have to pay 500 rupees, which is a huge amount of sum, right? So that is a very big criticism. Then no public transport facilities such as buses were launched till now. So that means the private vehicles will travel and they have to pay, each vehicle has to pay 500 rupees, which is a very huge amount. That is the second criticism. And the third is that there are no doubts on whether it will be help to regular commutators. So the regular commutators who are doing jobs and all, so it will not benefit, of course, because they will travel rather paying 500 rupees per day, they will travel the longer line, right? So these are some of the criticism related to the project. Next, fourth article, classical language status. So the context we will see first, then we will go what is actually classical language. Mamata writes to PM Modi, seeks classical language status for Bangla. So I have just taken the statement directly from newspaper, so I'm not disrespecting anyone. So you can call Mamata ji, right? So here the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, has wrote a letter to the Prime Minister to seek classical language status to the Bangla, right? Bangla is a state language of West Bengal. So that is the context. The letter has created the context now. Now we'll see what is actually the classical language status. So if there are many languages in India, there are 22 scheduled languages and hundreds of local languages which are not recognized by the constitution, right? And Bengali or Bangla is one of the 22 scheduled languages. But among those 22 scheduled languages, there are only few classical languages. We will see what is actually the classical language. Classical language means it has own literary tradition. Literary means writing script. So it has its own, it hasn't taken from any other scripts. Like for example, Telugu has not taken from Tamil or Hindi is not taken from Sanskrit. So like that, the original, it should have a original literary text as well as large and ancient body of written literature. So they want to know the script, right? So they should have the script as well from many centuries. That means 1500, 1600 or 2000 years since they should have a literary body of scripts. That is also condition. So the government of India declared in 2004. So when they have declared, that is also important, that languages that met certain conditions would be declared as a classical language. So classical language means just simply it should be old, it should have own script. But after that, government of India has come up with certain conditions, because there will be dispute. Every state will come that we have this much history and you have to give the classical status. We will see why they are fighting as well. There are certain benefits to get the classical language status. But we will see before that, what are the criteria kept by Union government for the classical languages. So there are certain conditions we will see. First one is high antiquity of early text is recorded in the history. So high history, they need to have a text related to their own language. That is the first condition. Second condition is that a body of ancient literature or texts which is considered valuable heritage by the generation of speakers. So there are generation of speakers. For every 100 years there is a change in generation. So those valuable heritage texts has to be kept and they have to show as a proofs. That is the second condition. Then literary traditional is original and not borrowed from any other speech community. So for example, you can see there are certain languages which are copied from other languages. For example, you can say the Tulu language has come from Kannada. So that should not happen. It should have its own original literary tradition, right? So that is the third condition. And fourth tradition, classical language and literature are distinct from modern. So the modern, we have different literature, so that should not be similar to the earlier tradition. So if any language is having similar to the modern tradition, so that is not eligible, right? It should have the older literary traditions. These are the 4 conditions given by the union government, and based on them only they will give the classical status. Now, benefits, why the states are fighting that everyone want classical status? If you are fighting for something, that means it has some benefits. So that's why we will see what are the benefits. In India, 2 major annual international awards are given for the scholars of eminent classical Indian languages. So if your state is given with certain classical language status, or if your language is given with the classical language status, there will be 2 major international awards. So that means they are recognizing with money as well as awards. So that will the first benefit. And then a center of excellence for studies of classical Indian languages would be set up. So this was they have given recent approval in the Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh to have a center of excellence for Telugu. So you will get one university. That is also one big thing, not university actually, center for excellence to study related to that particular language, and the funding will be given by central government itself. And then third one is Universe Grants Commission, UGC, is requested to start with at least in a central university, at least in central universities, like which is handled by union government, they will be asked to give certain chairs, professional chairs. That means you appoint some professors, at least 2 professors, and who will be taking or handling that particular language. So these are all the benefits that particular language will get. So why not we will try and we will get that status as well. That was the intention of Bengal, right? Currently we have 6 classical languages: Tamil, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam and Odia. So almost all the southern states have the classical language status. So 2004, 2005. So these are the years which were given with the status. So Tamil is the oldest classical language. If you come across this question, so Tamil was given the first classical status, that is 2004, right? So those are the news. Now moving to the next article, that is genetically modified mustard. So everyone know mustard, very popular food product. The context is this: Supreme Court questions center on GM mustard. So the GM mustard was given with the approval to produce or test by the central government, and Supreme Court has questioned that why you have given. So give us the reasons. So that is the context. We will see the background. Government of India has approved environmental release of genetically modified mustard hybrid DMH11. We will see what are all these things, DMH and genetically appraisal committee. We will see one by one, don't worry. Just understand this. The background is that government has given permission to GM mustard, which is actually a DMH variety, during 147th meeting on 18th October 2022. So in 2022, they have given status for approval related to the GM mustard DMH11 variety. So that was the background. That's why Supreme Court has questioned, and still it is under the Supreme Court consideration. First, what are genetically modified crops? So for a person, like if you are a person, you are having 46 chromosomes, that is 23 sets, and you have DNA, right? So if there are any modification, there will be a certain modification, and this is certain results are there, either it is positive or negative. Mostly we do genetical modification only for positive things, right? So there are CRISPR-Cas9 technology, like for humans to modify their DNA. Here, if we are modifying it, the crops, genetics, if we are modifying, there is certain benefit. There are certain benefits which will get. So according to World Health Organization, genetically modified crops means there is a proper definition given by World Health Organization. It means that those are the organisms in which genetical material has altered in a way that it does not occur in a natural combination. So recombination, right? So we have our own 23 sets, and if you are modifying one of the sets, so there will be certain different results. So without modifying, if those crops are existing naturally, they are called as natural plants. And if you are modifying, any modification has been done or recombinationally done, those are called as GM crops. Very simple, right? So any genetical material varied in that plant species, those will be called as genetically modified crops. And what are the advantages? Why we are striving to enhance GM crops? There are certain benefits. Food security, that means if production is higher, if you are producing 1000 tons in place of 100 tons, right? So that means it will enhance the security, food security among the public. The poor will easily get those foods. So that is the benefit. Second is higher yields and income to the farmers. So as farmers can grow, they will get more higher yields. I mean, the productivity will increase as well as the income. So the money that they are going to get from those food crops, GM food crops, will be more. That is advantage. Then decrease in the use of pesticides. So as GM crops are much advanced, they need use less pesticides. That will reduce the cost of the farmers, as well as we have some certain benefits if you are not using pesticides as well, right? Pesticides are always harmful to environment. So that's why pesticides as well as herbicides both will be reduced. Then withstand weather fluctuations and extremes. So if there is any monsoon failure, rainfall failure, then the crops will be over, the natural crops. So GM crops can withstand those extreme fluctuations for longer periods, so that it will benefit in terms of getting yield in the final production, right? And there are certain concerns as well. So we have certain concerns. First one is human health. There is no study that how this GM crops consumption have some effects on human health. Without proper studies, how you can release into this market. So that is one concern. Then genetical contamination of environment. So if you are using some GM, genetical modification within the plant species, how it will impact the environment? Will it become invasive? That means it will affect other plants, or will it affect any animals there, because animals also consume those plants. So if we don't know how it is affecting the environment, this is other concern. And there is a cost of cultivation, of course, because GM crops require high amount of water as well as technology. So the cost will be increased to the farmers. So that is also a concern. Lack of transparency in regulation. So how you are approving, how you are giving permissions, or how you have developed this GM process crops, all these things are not transparent. That means nobody knows it until it is showing some consequences. Nobody bothers about it. So that is very lack of transparency, right? Opaque. They are much opaque. So this is other concern of GM crops. Now, how they are regulated in India? How GM crops are regulated in India? We will see there is certain body which regulates GM crops. Genetical Engineering Appraisal Committee. So GEAC under Ministry of Environment. So Genetical Engineering Appraisal Committee under Ministry of Environment is an apex body that allows the commercial release. So who gives the permission here? GEAC. Many times they have asked in many of the competitive exams. So this is the body under Ministry of Environment. And in 2002, GEAC has allowed the commercial release of BT cotton. So Bacillus thuringiensis was the gene that was used. So BT cotton was given permission to cultivate, and BT cotton is not directly consumed by the humans, right? It is for something else like textiles and all. That's why it was not concerned most of the people. Anyway, still there were concerns, but somehow it is not directly impacting the humans. That's why it got permission. Now, use of unapproved GM variant crops. If you are using any GM crops without permission from the GEAC, right? Then it will amount to 5 years jail or fine up to 1 lakh and 1 lakh. So together or separately, it will be penalized. So whoever has cultivated, they will be penalized under Environmental Protection Act 1899. The release of GM mustard is under the adjudication of Honorable Supreme Court. So government has given it, but Supreme Court has asked to stop for some time until they give the pronouncement. So this is the status. Now, what is DMH11? So what you may come across is, what is this DMH11 mustard? So that is Dara mustard hybrid. So how we have in the rice, we have different varieties like Karnool Masura, Jilkar Masura, we have different varieties. The same way, we have Dara mustard hybrid DMH11. It is a genetically modified crop, only second after GM cotton. So GM cotton already got approval in 2002. Now this is the second one to get the approval. So in 2022 itself, it got approval for testing and production, but Supreme Court has halted it. It has been developed by scientists from Center for Genetical Manipulation and of crop plants from Delhi University. This was also asked in the UPSC exam, so you have to remember. So who has developed this? From Delhi University, CGMCP. So this was the university that developed the DMH11. They developed the hybrid containing two alien genes. So two alien genes they have combined together and isolated from soil bacterium called Bacillus amyloliquescens. So they have extracted two genes and they have modified in the GM mustard. So this is the details about the DMH11. Right. So those are the news. Now the next article is earthquake recently in Afghanistan. It was also affected the Indian, certain cities including NCR, National Capital Region. So the context is this: there is a 66.3 magnitude earthquake hits Afghanistan. Tremors also felt in North India. So that is the context. The epicenter. So epicenter means what? So how earthquake is generated? Under earth, inside of earth, there is a lithosphere where earth is divided into number of plates. So if you are aware about the geography, you might be knowing this. So under earth, inside the earth, there are certain plates in the lithosphere. There are certain layers like core, mantle and crust. Within core and mantle, we have lithosphere, which is divided into number of plates. And the plates are moving. So if the plates are jerking, the energy will be released and leading to the earthquakes. So here, wherever the plate interaction has happened and the energy is generated for the first inside the earth, that is called as focus, and the line above, exactly above that focus is called as epicenter on the earth surface. So epicenter is on earth surface, focus is inside the earth, right? So this is epicenter. So the epicenter for the quake, which was struck at 2:50 p.m. was 241 kilometers northeast of the Kabul. Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan. So near Afghanistan, approximately 241 kilometers northeast, the epicenter was recorded. So that is the background. So why every year Afghanistan face these earthquakes? There are certain reasons actually. So we'll see what is this. The first reason is this: Afghanistan lies between the two plate boundaries. This Afghanistan is in Eurasian plate. So here you can see this red color one. So Afghanistan is at the boundary of Eurasian plate, and this is Indian plate. See, you can see here India, and this is Afghanistan. So it is between the two boundaries. So that's why if there is some jerk, there will always be some jerk if there is a breakage in between the plates. So there are certain fault lines. You can see the fault lines as well. These red color ones. So these are the fault. That means some cracks within the land. So that's why whenever there is some adjustments, so Afghanistan face huge amount of earthquakes. Continuously they have seen such type of devastating earthquakes since last hundreds of years, right? So there are two reasons. One is Afghanistan lies between Indian and Eurasian plate, and second one is it has some fault lines, right? There is one more reason you can see here, that is it lies in the Alpine belt. So here is Afghanistan. So it is in Alpine belt. So Alpine belt is a second most seismic active region. So we have one more active region which is called as Circum-Pacific Belt or Pacific Ring of Fire. So you can just see it in the Google, Pacific Ring of Fire. So those are the regions on earth which are more active. Easily the plates are moving, and there is a lot of consequences like earthquakes, volcanoes. And this is such a region, the second most one, and India is also northern part of India, that is northern Himalayas is also part of Alpine zone. So these are the three reasons why Afghanistan is consistently seeing these earthquakes. Next article, X-ray polarimeter satellite, EXPO-SAT. So we have EXPO-SAT. We'll see what is the context. India's first X-ray polarimeter satellite capture supernova remnant. So actually it was launched way back in October itself, end of October, but now it has captured supernova. Supernova means explosion of some stars. So in the universe or in the space, we have number of stars, and sun is also one of the stars, right? So some stars will die, that means they burst, and there's a lot of emission of gases in the space. So that was observed by our exposed satellite. So that is the context. We will see what is exposed satellite. So you don't need to worry about the diagrams and all, just to make you little bit interesting. We have added the pics. So you can understand it. It is India's first polarimetry mission. So it is India's first polarimetry mission. So you may ask the question now, what is polarimetry? That is also important. Polarimetry means it is a measurement and interpretation of polarization of electromagnetic waves. So we have different electromagnetic waves in the space, right? We have radio waves, we have infrared rays, we have microwaves, we have UV rays, we have X-rays, right? So we have number of waves, and this polarimetry means to measure and interpret the polarization or mixing up of two types of waves. So if any there is a merger of any electromagnetic waves, so to study that, the whole study is called as polarimetry. And you can understand this satellite is going to useful in the polarimetry study. So it is India's first polarimetry mission, first one. Then next important point is this XPOSat is the world's second satellite based mission dedicated for making X-ray polarimeter measurements. So if there are merger of two X-rays, X-ray is also part of electromagnetic spectrum with high frequency, right? So if there are merger of two X-rays, that means some energy has released from the space. That means you can study the origin of the universe itself. So that's why this is important. If you are studying the merger of X-rays, you will get the origin from where this X-rays has come and why they have merged, and what type of bodies exist in the universe, and what is the age, and finally you can also know the universe, how they have evolved and all. That's why the mission was launched, right? So this is the first the second one dedicated for making X-ray polarimetry. That means merger of two X-rays will be studied. Earlier, the NASA has already launched way back 3-4 years back. NASA has already launched, and ours is second country. These facts are all important. It is dedicated to analyze the polarization of X-rays, that's what I was telling, emanating from bright celestial sources. That means space. So if there is a merger, they will identify. This satellite will identify. So that is the objective, and few more objectives or the facts related to the XPOSat. XPOSat comprise two payloads, including X-ray polarimeter and spectroscopy and timing. Right, so these are the two payloads. You don't need to worry, just remember that there are two payloads. So what are the payloads? You may ask, what is the payloads now? So payload means the scientific or technological instruments carried by the satellite. So whatever the telescope or whatever the instruments that satellite carry to conduct the experiment in the space, all those things together called as payloads, right? So those are the two payloads being used by the XPOSat satellite. The spacecraft is designated for the observation from low Earth orbit. So that means around the Earth, if it is farer from Earth, that is called as far. Lower Earth orbit means it is nearer to Earth. It is launched in the lower Earth orbit. It has estimated mission life of about 5 years, during which XPOSat will observe the sources that emit polarization. So it has 5 years lifespan. Next article, Global Risks Report. So it was released by World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum released the Global Risks Report ahead of its Davos meeting. So this is very important fact to remember. So who has launched this report? That is more important. Global Risks Report, World Economic Forum. Observations. So there are certain observations from the report. Artificial intelligence driven misinformation will pose or generate risks globally in 2023 and 24. So you can see there's a Google bot, there is ChatGPT, which is giving a lot of misinformation, the wrong information. So that is one of the risks emerging from the recent trends that was observed by the World Economic Forum report. Several live conflicts such as Ukraine-Russia war and then Israel-Palestine issue, they may generate more conflicts in the region. That means it is saying that those conflicts will manifold and affect the whole world. Then persistent cost of living crisis. So there will be issue. There has already been issue of cost of living, that only rich people can survive in the urban areas, not poor people. That's why slums are being generated. So this is one of the risks identified by the World Economic Forum. The world is already witnessing more frequent and intense climate shocks. So you can see 2023 is the most severe temperature recorded year. So climate change is also one of the risks. To mitigate, it has provided certain solutions, increase societal resilience through critical thinking, media literacy and responsibility education to contain the fake news. So they have given some measures to contain the misinformation. One is to promote awareness among the people and critical thinking through media, government collaboration with the tech firms, collaboration between governments and the tech gains like Google, then fostering international cooperation from early identification and containment, right? So these are the suggestions given. Next, final news, conjoined silver line. So there is a new butterfly discovered. This is the final news we have. So conjoined silver line butterfly was recently discovered. We'll see the context. Bengaluru biologists spot new butterfly species in Coorg, right? Kodagu district. Coorg is located in the Kodagu district of Karnataka, right? The butterflies were the first seen in Iruppu Falls of Brahmagiri Wildlife Sanctuary. This is also located in Coorg itself, Kodagu district. The new member in the family has been named conjoined silver line based on the fused spots and bands on the underside. So based on the physical appearance, they have named it as a conjoined silver line. So the only thing that you can remember here, there are two things, of course, the name conjoined silver line and what is it, butterfly, and where it was discovered, Coorg. So these are the three facts that you need to remember, right? Now that's all from the news. We will see some practice questions. You can comment in your comment section. We'll see some practice questions. There are three practice questions. You can comment here. After watching all these things, you can solve these questions. Which of the following statements about Swachh Survekshan Awards are correct? So they are asking Swachh Survekshan Awards. It aims to enhance citizen participation and awareness among the society. So that was the first statement. Second statement is first edition of Swachh Survekshan Awards were launched in 2014. So they have asked it 2014. Surat has been adjudicated the cleanest city for the 7th time in a row in 2023. So this is the question. You can post the answers there. So we will come up with the answers in the next video, right? Next question. Which of the following water bodies is not surrounded by Taiwan? So you have observed the Taiwan map. So you can see here South China Sea, Philippine Sea, East China Sea and Sea of Japan. Which one is not surrounded by the Taiwan? You have to comment there. We'll come up with the answer. With reference to genetically modified mustard developed in India, consider the following statements. So regarding genetically modified crops, genetically modified mustard, they have asked some questions. GM mustard has the genes of soil bacterium that give the plant property of pest resistance with a wide variety of pests. So this is the first statement. This is actually a UPSC question, previous UPSC question. So GM mustard has genes that allow plant cross-pollination and hybridization. So second statement, GM mustard has been developed jointly by IARI and Punjab Agriculture University. So these are the three statements. You can answer those in the comment section. We'll tell the answers in the next video. So these are the very important news or even the relevant news for our all competitive exams. So wish you all the best. Keep following. Thank you.